Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Pay attention to the social environment. I'm gonna tell you what for business, yo. Always pay attention to the social environment, because one of the things, if you look at what I was talking about this week, whether it was subcultures or children, it's still population. And to understand something, it's just a basic business thing, supply and demand. See, look, I use myself for an example. The reason my best-selling books, I have 9 books on the market. 4 of them have to deal, well, 5 of them have to deal specifically with relationships. That's what keeps me in business. When my main channel, I'm talking primarily about relationships. Heck, on this channel, if I decide to put more relationships into the money equation, and maybe I should, because, it plays a part, oh, trust me, people will be paying attention. But that's because of the social environment. What's happening in the social environment for relationships? Very, very, very few people have good relationships. Even many who are married, including and especially younger people. That's a major thing. That's the thing, the whole hookup thing. That's why dating apps are so popular. I'm not a fan of them, but that don't mean they're not making money. Anything relationship orientated makes money. But look at the social environment. Now you get some people who will say, hey, why you listen to that dating coach or that advice? Shoot, go to the family court and you'll see. If it was that simple and that easy, we wouldn't have that. But that's the social environment. I mean, you got a ton of stuff. See, always pay attention to what's happening. Pay attention to how people are adorning themselves. How they behaving. Let me use the adorn yourself thing. Tattoos. And it was on one of these videos for one of my channels. I got so much stuff. And, I had mentioned that somebody I followed on, did I mention them? Well, whatever. Supposedly, according to some study, women are, 64% of women have a preference of tattoos on a man, find it sexy and all. I remember tattoos, if you had a tattoo, you were looked at as like an outcast or something. That was for the rougher side. Now it's like, you could find a professional or something with some tattoos now. Seriously, it's a deep thing. But think about it. Think about it from a business perspective. Think about it from a business perspective. I remember, like I said, when I was younger, shoot, if you wanted a tattoo, you almost had to know somebody, be in some back alley or something. Now you have the same tattoo. You got tattoo parlors and strip malls now. It's getting just as ubiquitous, especially in some neighborhoods, especially in like more lower income neighborhoods, as ubiquitous as a barbershop, a liquor store, and a storefront church. Seriously, it's that much of a business. You got some people, they can make a decent living just being a tattoo artist. Also, if you look at some other stuff, I remember you didn't have massage parlors outside of the ones that gave happy endings. Now you have regular massage parlors, in strip malls. That's because people want the relaxation of it and everything. And that's part of the social environment. There's a lot of stress out here. Speaking of stress, think about a business like Starbucks or any coffee shop. Even if it's not a Starbucks, you can't go a block. You pretty much can't. It's hard to go a block, even in some residential areas, without running into a coffee shop. Because where I live, they right there. And what's bringing that about? Well, to energize people to work. But that's the social environment. See, just always pay attention. Then you can, once you know what's happening in any environment, then you have an idea about what type of service you can provide, what type of business. Is that deep? If people just want something. I mean, that's been recorded times in history where people just wanted something, and so it was a big deal. One thing I heard about, but I ain't studied too much, something with Dutch tulips. Everybody was interested in tulips. Hey, business. You know, I remember in the 70s, there was a big deal about pet rocks. And, you know, here's another thing with it. Oh, even something else. Well, I was going to say about that, you know, it can seem as silly as possible, but if people are interested, they'll take it. I remember in the 80s, it was a big deal about breakdancing. You had guys who could breakdance. They were teaching classes, like charging $35 a class. We talking early 80s money to teach people how to breakdance. I'm dead serious. And we talking 80s money, early 80s money. So I'm thinking like 35 then, easily 3 figures now, easily. I probably had to look it up, might be 300 an hour now. Seriously, it is that deep. But the environment called for it. Like pay attention to, like 2 things. You pay attention to, okay, what do people generally want? Well, to eat. To eat. People got to eat. Like a lot of people eating more healthy now. One thing I noticed in the area I'm living in, there's at least two stores that sell a lot of healthier foods. At least 2 stores, and they might be building a 3rd one. We don't know what it's going to be yet. I keep hearing everything from an Amazon store to Amazon grocery store to a Harris Teeter, which is more of a high-end, like, you know, healthy food type of thing. But you even see more people interested in that. That's the environment. You know, it's what's ever going on. So you always get an idea. So you pay attention to the general trends, like food, that always stays there. But then pay attention to other stuff, like a fad. Some people make money off of fads. It's not something personally I would look into, but if you position for it, you might be able to do that. Indeed, you have some businesses that they actually built for that. They actually built to like pivot like right away. And that's cool. And indeed, some businesses, even they aren't built for it, they might get like, okay, let's throw some money into this. You know, people like, I don't know, people wanting a certain type of ice cream. All of a sudden, some regular ice cream places might say, hey, let's serve this flavor. And that's the thing. That is the thing. Like, pay attention to it. Like, at one of my local grocery stores, one of the things that's being promoted overall is the environment and trying to use less plastics. At my closest grocery store now, I have to go in there with like one of those like bags, and they don't require it, but they only have paper bags. They don't have the plastic bags you can use anymore at this particular store, and they charging money for it too. So they really, and part of that's encouraging you to bring your own bag. So now people are coming into the stores increasingly with their own bags. Of course, they charge for it, but that's a trend too. That's a trend. Like, pay attention to everything. Like, okay, with even the politics, it'd be interesting, the businesses that will start, legal or otherwise, in states where abortion is limited. It'd be interesting, seriously. You already have some people talking about like an underground railroad. Rest assured, somebody will try to figure out a way to get money out of it. You might even get some freelance people who say, like, I don't know, Uber for like some underground ride share. Say, okay, you get some guy, he just got an ordinary car, and he'll just say, all right, for this much money, I will drive you to this other state, and we can get past everything. we can get past. We'll just drive. You know, let's get to know each other enough so if we just stop for any reason, we can just say, oh no, we just family. You know, we just family. Even if the person, you know, the driver's black and passenger is white, they could be like, oh yeah, we're just together going on a vacation. But seriously, what y'all think about that? Think about it. But the environment's creating it, because what we want, what we demand, is going to be influenced by our needs, but our needs are influenced by what's going on in the social environment. You know, speaking of the Roe v. Wade thing, it might be an increase in birth controls, contraceptives, and everything. You know, somebody who has something effective, They might be like cha-ching. You know, there's already been an increase. I read something in the state of Florida. People coming down, men are coming down there for vasectomy. That's my word to triple, vasectomies. So always pay attention, and just general attention. You don't have to deep dive because that's tough. But just if you notice something, just note it. It's like, oh, that's an interesting style. Pay attention to it. I even said that I think I said that on my Deep Thought channel. And somebody might decide to wear hairstyle where they just leave one patch of hair on their head. And I'm gonna be real with you. I was driving the other day. It looked like this guy had that. I was like, hold up. I actually doubled back. I was like, man. But no, he had a bandage on his head. I hate to know what happened to him. He looked okay. He was walking okay. But seriously, pay attention to every little thing. There might be a business idea, something you can jump in. I'll leave with a great example of that. Beards. Now, I remember I did a video on it years ago because I ain't honestly think it'd last. Everybody was talking beard game. I said it. And actually somebody came on there and said, well, you should take this down since it turns out you're wrong. I said, no. This is what I thought at the time. I'm going to own it. I'm going to leave it up. I can be wrong. I have no problems admitting it, but I ain't going to take it down. That's what I saw. That's what I thought at the time. Yeah, I was proven wrong. Okay. Here's the thing with that. How many people have made money off of beards? That's creating a whole new industry. Now it's like people, you seeing everything from clippers to hair stuff. Like there was a local mall I would walk through sometimes with my sons, and there was a kiosk and they were just selling beard products. I always had to speed past them. If I had just a little bit of beard, they'd be trying to hit me up. But seriously, you got products, you got clippers for beards, strictly to cut beards, stylists, everything. Shoot, even some people creating some fake beards. Now that wasn't around, but then that created a business. That's because of the social environment. All right. So always pay attention. Always pay attention to trends, what's going on. And it could be something small. But if you can jump on it before everybody else does, you can do something. I give you an example. I'll leave you with this. Another example, Zoom. I was on Zoom 2 years before it got big. I was already using Zoom. Nobody was talking about it. I was already there. And set up. Everybody trying to figure out how to use it. I was like, oh yeah, just do this, this, and this. You're good to go. But I kind of saw what was coming already. In fact, if you look at my other websites, I set up stuff early. I'm always ready. You know? Think about the early adopters of Patreon. Think about it. There were some people who jumped on Patreon. It wasn't a big thing. They jumped on. Patreon's worth, their valuation is $4 billion now. Because that's a big thing, the online communities. So always pay attention to that. You might see something that you say, hey, I can do that. And just jump in it. Even if it's just at first. You know? There's some other stuff I'm seeing, but I'll keep quiet. I'm just paying attention to it now. Then I'll see where it goes. So anyway. That's all I have. In fact, I'll keep it to myself too. I can't seem to end this one. There is one trend. I started something with it. It hasn't picked up. And I'll keep that to myself. It just hasn't picked up yet. I'm gonna say yet. But when it does, and I think it's inevitable that it will because of the social environment, Rom hitting that million. I already see it. About to jump back into it again. But, well, I never left it, but yeah. Rom got a lot of stuff out there. So anyway, though, let me finally end this. But y'all get my point, all right? So anyway, now more than ever, let's go make that money.